I'm channeling my inner queen today because it's Helen Mirren's 80th birthday today on July 26th. She's 80 years old. And who channels the queen better than Helen Mirren? Nobody. She actually won an Academy Award for her portrayal of the Queen in 1980. She's played the Queen 3 times, but in total 6 times playing royalty, because she's also played Cleopatra, Catherine the Great, and Queen Charlotte. So I think that there's royalty in Helen Mirren's blood. You know, when I started investigating this workout, I found out a few really interesting facts about Helen Mirren that I did not know. First of all, her mother is Scottish and her father is Russian, and her name was actually Helen Mirrenoff, and they anglicized it when she turned 10 to Helen Mirren. The other fascinating thing that I didn't know was that for 5 years, she dated Liam Neeson in the 1980s. She's only been married once, and that was in 1997. She married the same man that she's married to today. She's never had any children. She doesn't have a very strict or crazy or regimented diet, eats everything in moderation. I love that about her. But what I really want to focus on today is her workout plan. She has done the same workout plan for almost 60 years. And you know what? It's working for her. You know, every workout plan isn't about necessarily being so extreme. We're not trying to necessarily be iron women or super power lifters. What we're really looking for is to be able to be healthy and mobile and active and engaged and living well and feeling well into our 80s. So I think Helen Mirren has got something going on. The program that she has espoused for the last almost 50 years is the XBX program. It was developed in the 1950s by the Royal Canadian Air Force. And I thought to myself, is this really going to hold up 60 years plus later? Well, today we are going to see what is the XBX program all about.
It is simple, and it takes only 11 minutes a day.
Helen has been in countless movies, not all of which she's portraying royalty. There have been so many. She has a comedic air too, which I think is fabulous. I really love her. I feel like she seems so natural, down to earth. The other thing that I love that she says is she always travels with tea bags, and I am like so guilty of that. I always want to make sure that I have my tea and a jar of Marmite, because that makes her home wherever she happens to be. Oh, here comes my royal corgi right here. So let's talk about the XBX program. X is like the Roman numeral X, which means 10. B is for basic, and X is for exercises. So there's 10 basic exercises. Every day you do the same 10 exercises, and you always do the workout in just 12 minutes, okay? The exercises are broken down into time frames and rep counts, and you just do the same thing. What it relies on is progressive overload. It's not like day 1 is exactly the same as 50 years later. There's a huge progression along the way. But these exercises can be done anywhere, anytime, by all of us, and there's no equipment needed. The exercises are broken down. The first 4 are really a warm-up, just sort of to get your body moving. And each of the next 6 exercises are broken down targeting specific body parts. So upper, arms, your lower trunk, your abs, and one section at the end for cardio. What I want to do today is I want to show you the XBX program, and I'm going to start at level 1, where we would all start, and then maybe we'll progress, although they're very specific when you do get the booklet, that you have to go through the levels one by one, and not until you're comfortable at level 1, for example, would you move up to level 2. There are 48 levels in all, and that is a whole lot of levels. And so a couple of the things that I found were a little bit funny when I looked at the booklet to say, could this possibly be just a little bit dated? Besides the fact that in the booklet it says the booklet was 35 cents, so that could be a little bit dated. So can the XBX program be as effective then and now? Like, is there longevity in a program that it was developed in the 1950s? Well, we're going to find that out today. We're going to see how these 10 exercises done over and over again with variations along the way that progress you from very basic 10 to a much more intense 10 exercises, but always in the allotted 12 minutes. Helen Mirren has found that this has given her a great basis of physical fitness. These exercises are targeting her arms, her abs, her lower body, her cardiovascular system, and in 12 minutes, and you know what, if you can give the 12 minutes, hey, you know what? You've got somewhere to start. You've got somewhere that you can lean on. This can be your basic thing that you can always do. Helen Mirren has been a vocal advocate of encouraging women in their 50s and their 60s into working out and into being active, and that, you know, just to let you know that it is never too late. And I totally agree with that and believe in that wholeheartedly. And I know that it can be really difficult, and especially if you're really out of shape and you don't know where to begin. Well, you have to begin somewhere. And if you can do 12 minutes a day and keep it up, then you are going places. Let me get dressed out of my queen outfit, get some workout clothes on, and let's start our XBX. Here we are, day 1, level 1 of XBX. Now, this will be the most simple of all of the days. And what you would do is you would stay here for a minimum of 2 days, or until you feel comfortable doing all 10 of the exercises within the 12-minute allotted time frame. Now, this one is pretty simplex, and the first 4 exercises are really just warming up your body, but they will always be the same 4 exercises. It will always be the same 2 minutes, but there will be variations then on the form, and possibly within the exercises, the number of reps may increase substantially. So the very first exercise is a simple toe touching. As I said, these are really just warm-ups. But especially if you're just starting, you have to start somewhere. So, you know, there's no shame in the game. You just want to get moving. So you'll basically be doing 30 seconds of toe touching, and you move on to exercise number 2. Exercise number 2 are knee raises. And hey, this is good for our balance too, girls. There's 48 levels in total, but interestingly, there is an age number on the axis, and the top age is 55. The third exercise in our warm-up is just a lateral bend. So we're just gonna have some motion through the waist area, and again, this will be 30 seconds. The last one of our warm-up exercises are arm circles. So 30 seconds of arm circles, and we are going to be ready to roll. Exercise 5 is going to target our abs. Now you'll see how these exercises become progressive, because this is the simplest form of it. We are going to do a partial sit-up, and as you increase in the level, but at the same time you are going to be increasing your mastery of the different exercises, so you're going to be ready for the challenge of a little bit more. All right, this is exercise 5, and this is our first progression into a sit-up. And we're really just taking our head and our shoulders off the floor, and we're looking down at our toes. Exercise 6 are chest and leg raises, and we're just going to stay here for 1 minute. Exercise 7 are leg raises, and 1 minute in total. At 30 seconds, change and do the other side. Don't be fooled, ladies. This is level 1. Things get a lot more difficult as we progress. But as I keep saying, you have to start somewhere. And if you're not doing anything, then this can be a whole lot for you. Okay, we're on to exercise 8. And this is the beginnings of our push-up. We're going to lie down flat with our arms at our shoulders. And any way possible, we're going to push ourselves up to our knees, our chest and our tummy off of the mat, and then we're going to go back. That's 1. We're going to do this. This is going to be 2 minutes of our 10. And if you've never done a push-up, this is going to be a lot for you. All right, here we are, exercise 9 already. Alternating leg lifts, up perpendicular as far as you can go, and with control, coming back down, and then the other. Okay, this will be for 1 minute. All right, we're already down to our last exercise of our 12 minutes. This is a 3-minute cardio component, and we're gonna do running and hopping. We're gonna do running at 50 in place, and then 10 hops. And of course, if you have knee issues or mobility issues, then you're just gonna have to modify where necessary. So, but as long as you're really making an effort to get that cardio, get your heart moving, and not just slacking off. So that was level 1, and we are not supposed to skip levels. That is very, very important. So do not try this at home, but this is YouTube, so we're gonna change it up a little bit. I am recommended over age 55 not to pass level 11, but for the sake of showing you guys that this is not so easy peasy, let's skip to maybe level 25. See how the difference is there from those very basic ones to what happens to level 25, but still only 10 exercises and still only 12 minutes. Are we going to be able to do it? I don't know. I'm not so sure. It looks a lot tougher. Okay, 10 toe touches now. We're on level 25. We've got 30 seconds. And then we're still going to go into our knee raises. Now we have to get 16 knee raises into 30 seconds. Now we need 12 of our lateral bends in our 30 seconds. And now 24 of our arm circles. And they've increased our range of mobility on our arm circles. Remember, this is still just the warm-up. Okay, we've now progressed to a full sit-up. We have to do 26 in the 2 minutes. Our arm and leg raises, we've now moved our posture out further. We're supposed to get 28 of these in 1 minute. I don't even know if I can fit them all in. Okay guys, my minute, I couldn't even get all 28 in with being able to flex and lift up my arms and my legs. So 28 in 1 minute, that is like no easy feat. And I'm only at level 25, not 48. Let's move on to the next exercise. Okay, I'm on to leg raises, but now I have to get 48 within my 1 minute allotment. So there's no lolling around. I've got to get 24 on each side. That's just over 1 second each before I have to change sides, because I've got to get both sides. So the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking, and I am moving. And let me tell you, I'm much more out of breath than I was in level 1. So maybe this is why we don't necessarily skip levels, but you know what? My fitness level is pretty high, but you know what? This is a lot of reps in a very condensed amount of time. The next progression is the progression of the push-up. And what we're looking at now are what they're calling elbow push-ups, which is really like an elbow plank. And you're supposed to do 22 of these in 2 minutes. And they're asking you to up, hold, down, up, hold, down, 22 in 2 minutes. So 11 a minute. So we're moving along a progression of our leg lifts. We're now doing leg tuckovers. So again, 1 minute. And we're going side to side. Keep your shoulders on the floor. Keeping your knees bent the whole time. Bringing them up to the center and to the other side. Our cardio portion, still 3 minutes, running on the spot for 50, and then we're gonna do a half squat. So we're going, running. Again, if you can't run, then march quickly on the spot. If you're avoiding impact, when you get to 50, half squat for 10. So we're adding the squat, certainly raising the heart rate. And then after 3 minutes of that, you're done at level 25 on your XBX. But there's still way more levels to go. As well, I want to show you there's 2 supplementary exercises that you can add in at the exercise 8 time frame that are going to be for your feet and your ankles and your posture. I'll show you those quickly. And I think just for fun, let's just see what the heck is at level 48. Let's just take a couple of those exercises and see if I could even manage them. These 2 supplementary exercises can be added if you like, and they're really just added with toe points and flexes. And you know what? It couldn't hurt. You know, I don't really do enough of that, and our ankles are so important. So doing this, just adding, this is exercise 8A, and you would do this for 1 minute, point and flex, completely optional. If you want to add an extra minute, you know what? Before your cardio, not a bad idea. And the other one is a posture related exercise. So let's take a look at that. So this one, we're just tucking and then looking forward. Trying to straighten up, really try to bring your shoulders back. And you're coming in. And you know, this feels good. I feel like I should be doing this. There are a couple of progressions on these 2 optional exercises, and you can see that if you end up downloading the book, you can just see that you're standing and they're pointing and flexing and just different motions within the same realm of really for your feet and ankles and for your posture. So there are a couple of progressive movements there as well. But let's take a look now at level 48, and I'm just going to throw a few of them in just to show you where these exercises are going, okay? So just to show you that the amount of progressive overload here, all condensed into a 12-minute workout, is really phenomenal. At level 48, within our warm-up, I'll just show you one, and one of the differences is in the arm circles that we started off so gently and, you know, just seemingly having a wonderful day out on the beach. This one is 32 arm flings, and you have only 30 seconds. So that's really 1 a second. And that's going to up your cardio game right there. So that's at level 48. That's within our warm-up. Exercise 5, the sit-ups, have become full-on sit-ups with our hands behind our head and full range of motion. Then the leg raises, now I'll show you what the leg raises have become for level 48. So our side leg raise now gets us off the ground, and we're supposed to be side leg raising, and we're supposed to be doing 58 of these in a minute. In a minute. That's like 1 second each, but we have to change sides at 30. And you know what? That is bloody hard. All right, you may have guessed it, that our progressive push-up has become a full push-up. And they want us to do 30 full push-ups in 2 minutes. And I'm just telling you right now that I already know I can't do that. Okay, hell for the no. I guess that's why over 55 I'm not supposed to get to level 48. But you know what? Come on, guys. That is super, super tough. So please do not be fooled by the ease of which you start this program, because it's as difficult as you allow it to be, okay? You start off, you're in your 10 exercises, you've got 12 minutes, and you know what? Move along slowly, but do move along. At least challenge yourself, keep challenging yourself. And as you can master these things, then you can move along to the next level. But just know, all you're giving it is 12 minutes a day, and I'm sure that you can manage that. I gotta tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed finding out about this program, and I wanna thank a longtime viewer of mine, Jean, from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, for bringing this to my attention. And you know what? Thank you, Jean, because it was really, really something. And you know, I really found that, yeah, it started in the 50s, and I had to say that I sniggered a few times when I looked at the book. And I'm going to just show you some of those pictures on the screen that kind of made me have a little bit of a chuckle. But you know what? It really does stand up to the test of time. And that is because it's really focusing on the fact that we all need to be active, we all need to get moving, and that progression is really, really important. And I know that it's hard to start, like it's really hard to start. But once you do get going and you start to feel that, hey, you know what, I'm starting to move through a couple of these levels, I think that's amazing. The fact that you don't need any equipment, that you don't need any special space to go to, you don't have to go to a gym, I think that's fabulous. You know, this is a way to start. I would love it if everybody out there could walk, if they could, if you can add a few thousand steps to your day, every single day. This is wonderful. Maybe eventually a couple of dumbbells and just, you know, get that muscle building in, because we do lose muscle as we age. But the most important thing is movement. The most important thing is getting going. Let's look back at Helen Mirren. And you know what? She's 80 today and she's fabulous and she's living a great life. We want to be able to be out there and we want to be with our friends and we want to do fun things. And being active and exercising is the way to do it. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.